So we go. All right. So shalom Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. We're here in the class today for Latino America, right? ISUPK Latino America. And estamos aquí para enseñarle a todas las tribus de Israel que nosotros somos los hijos escogidos de Dios, ¿verdad? Y vamos a la Biblia para dejarles a todos saber qué es lo que estamos haciendo, por qué es que nosotros somos los que estamos pasando estas cosas. So Isaiah 4:6 and Kariash, that's right. You got it right, brother. 4:6. Our people are destroyed, right, for the lack of knowledge, right? Mi gente padece por falta de sabiduría. Is reads in Spanish. So what is it that we forgot? We forgot and are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And what knowledge is that? It's the knowledge of what's happened to us, what's happened to our people, where our history is at, that we have forgotten what the blacks, the Hispanic, and the Native Indian have gone through. I was speaking to a sister not too long ago at my job, and I don't get too much into history, but, you know, hablando con la hermana esta, una negrita, a black lady, le digo a ella que si ella sabía que a los negritos se los entregaban para pizca, para el cocodrilo. And I asked her, do you know that they used black children to fish alligators, you know, to bring alligators for they could use the alligator skin to make, you know, boots and stuff like that. And she told me that wasn't true. She goes, no, that's not true. And I was astonished to think that, you know, that I would know more than a black sister, right? De que una hermana negrita, yo que de su cultura que ella de esto, ¿verdad? How can I know more about her culture than she does? And it's not that that, you know, I was mad at her, but it's very simple that I realized that this verse that we are into, which is Hosea 4:6, describes this woman, right? My people perish for the lack of knowledge. Her culture is perishing for the lack of knowledge because they lack the understanding that they are a strong people, that they're the chosen people of the Lord, and most importantly, and I'll get into it right now, how I got that with her, how, you know, Jesus Christ was a black man, and now he is the line of David, correct? And how he was the leader of all the Israelites, man. That's our king right there, correct? And so she didn't know that that black children were alligator bait. You know, she didn't know that the white man would go into the cotton fields. Oh no, that when the black people were out in the cotton fields, the white man would go into where they slept, you know, their little areas of sleeping or their homes, and they would pull the black children out, and they would and of course the alligators would see the baby there and hear him, and they would go and they'd snatch the baby. Of course, the cord or whatever it was that they were using would get caught in their mouth, and they would pull the alligator out, right? And they would nag the alligator like that. But of course, the baby would die. You know, it was taken, and by the time they took him out, it was too late. The baby was dead. You know, it's a shame that our own black people would forget that. But you know, that's a black woman. But I always encounter Issacharites that I bring history to them, and they don't understand the history that I'm talking to them. They don't know about some of this of some of this history that I bring out of the Latin community. Like there was this one Chilean brother. He was from Chile, and I got into a conversation with him we were at a bar. We were talking, and some of his friends introduced him to me. They told him that I was that I was a historian, that I bring out a lot of history, and that I should talk to him, or that he should talk to me because I knew a lot about history. And so we started to engage in conversation, and exchange some of the points. And I asked him where he was from, and he said he was from Chile. So I asked him about Pinochet. I said, do you know about the story of Pinochet? Do you know the story of Chile in the 1970s to the 1980s? I go, do you know what took place and what happened to your people? And this brother started getting bothered by some of the questions I was asking, because he started answering me, you know, well, the people should have stayed indoors. They shouldn't have gone outdoors. They should have followed the curfew. He didn't understand that the curfew was that at 7 o'clock, they didn't want nobody out in the street. And why? Because they were oppressing and suppressing his own people. You know, they were doing this to them. They were doing this to the Chilenos, and they were oppressing their own people. And when I asked this brother, hey, you know, if you're from Chile, if you're a Chileno, you know, how come you don't know this? How come you don't know that that this man Pinochet, right, was doing this to his own people? And man, he was bothered by my questions. He was bothered by what I said to him. And it's funny because, you know, I always in my classes, you know, I don't go too much into that history, but man, I always send a word out that if you're from Chile, si eres chileño, si tú eres del área de Chile, o tu familia son chileñas, you know, that you should understand that your people went through a lot. Like those Jewish people in Israel did not go through what the Chileno people went through. You know, what the Chileno people went through, right, is beyond man, anything that you could even imagine. You know, what happened to these people is a shame. And I'm going to get into some history of Chile, because it was an atrocity, and the people of Chile were begging, you know, they were begging the media, they were begging people from other countries to speak out to the world, and for the world to acknowledge what was happening to the people of Chile in that time. And what happened is the Chilean government, you know, obviously they cut off all access to all news, to all the internet, to all the news channels, to all the reporters, you know. And I'm going to show you a picture of what was going on in Chile, and I'm going to bring this out because this is something that I always, man, you know, I can't say it enough, that our people of the UPK, definitely you need to do some research on it and what happened to them. And let me bring out some of the pictures that of Chile, you know. Now right here, what you see here is a banner that if you can see here, the majority were women, and this says torture in Chile, right? And it says this is a worldwide you know, vergüenza, which means, you know, shame. This is a worldwide shame. They were asking the world to help Chile in their struggle that they were going through, as thousands of people were being murdered during this time of the Chilean uprising of the government. You know, they had this going on, and just to let you know, the people who implemented this on Chile was, of course, the American government. They're the ones who implemented this. They implemented this regime into Chile in this time, and people don't understand that that Hitler didn't even come close to what Pinochet did to these people, right? And I'm going to try to bring out a video here real quick, and I know you guys want to stay tuned and watch this a little bit because I want to bring it out. You know, I usually don't do this, but on this occasion, you know, I want to be able to bring this to a point of where you'll understand what I'm talking about. And give me 1 second. I didn't realize I was going to do this. So let me look up right here. Okay. So Chile is definitely something that you need to see, something that you need to understand, because if it happens in their country, of course, you know, it can happen in anybody's country. And America does not stand far from all this that goes on. You know what I mean? Us too, we see our people going through that. It was a Holocaust, what happened in Chile, but it was also a Holocaust, what happened to the Native American Indian. It's a Holocaust, what happened to these people. What happened to the Native American Indian is shameful also. You know, they didn't care about what was happening to our people, the Native American Indian. To them, it was all the same. To them, they're just you know, they're just secondhand citizens. Like the Chicano was a secondhand citizen, like the Black American is a secondhand citizen. You know, to them, we're really nothing. It doesn't matter. We're just you know, minorities is what they call us, right? But we're not minorities. We are the majority. We are those people that stand above all other races. You know why? Because we do that work. We're the ones who are out there putting in that work. We're also the ones who have taken the most beatings of everybody. You know, how can you say my people are less than anybody else when my people are the ones struggling the most? You know what I mean? And so this is what was happening in Pinochet's time. You know, these people were being killed in the street. Our children, our moms and dads are all being taken and murdered on the street. Here's another picture. I'm gonna bring this picture out, right? Because y'all should all know this. Y'all should all take a look at what Pinochet, what the American government did to his people. See that? Those are youngsters, right? And these are the police. This is the police force. Now, come on, you guys see this? See this police force? This is the way our police looks like today. And this is a picture from the 1980s. And this is what our police looks like today. This is what our police force in America is starting to look like, right? And so that should tell you something right away, that, you know, the same people who implemented this in Pinochet's time are the same people that are still around today. See that? These are people being taken away, carried away. See that? This is Pinochet's time right there. They were taking women off the street, right? This is a dictatorship that that came across into Chile, and they destroyed this. They destroyed this place. They destroyed the people. They destroyed the food source. They destroyed everything that was there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened in the times of Pinochet. This Santiago, Chile. You know what I mean? Here it is, Chile, 1973. See that? And this is important for all of us to watch, for all of us to see, because you know what? This is here you go. This is what it is for us to understand that, you know what, it's a tragedy, and that our people should not just sit down and see this happen, because these are men, women, and children that had to go through this. You know what I mean? And what better than who? Us to speak about it. Like I said, we're here to speak for our ancestors. If you're Chileno and you're not in the UPK, or you don't know this history, then you know, you're, because you're allowing your children to go on with knowing the happened to your people. And you know, far away, we've been through a lot too. We've been through plenty. You know, Mexico today is a place where, once again, we're being destroyed by those that come in and take our property, take our belongings, take our land, take the fruit of our land, and destroy us. You know, of course, you know that the Bible tells us, Deuteronomy, thy fruit of thy land will be taken by another nation. You know, that's us there. The fruit of our land is being taken by another nation. And I'm gonna bring something over here right now. I want you guys to see this. This is something happening in Mexico today, right? And this is in Mexicali, ¿verdad? This is Mexicali, and let me bring this out. Entonces, esto que está pasando en Mexicali, ¿verdad? Es algo que le está pasando a nuestra gente, y esto es algo reciente, que nuestra gente de Mexicali, de las Baja California, los cachanías, ¿verdad? Los que le decimos los cachanías, ¿verdad? Están pasando en este momento, porque las corporaciones americanas están entrando a nuestros terrenos a robarse el agua que tanto nos cuesta a nosotros tener allí, porque es una área seca, ¿verdad? Un área de sequías. Vamos a ver, vamos a traer esto para que todos vean. Y tengo una persona conectada que ellos también están en Baja California, y ellos están dando dando razón a lo que está pasando en Mexicali ahora, el agua, ¿verdad? Con lo que está sucediendo en nuestro pueblo so inside of Mexicali, which is in Mexico, they're having issues right now because Constellation brand. Okay, Constellation brand. Cali. So what's happening in Mexicali is that once again we see that the corporations are coming into, and also our natural resources. Today we find some of our people in Mexicali fighting because that they're going to, and how these people are taking our natural from our local tax benefit. They're starting a new brewery in Mexicali, and the people don't want that brewery. The people say we need water for other. Their machinery, forcing their the police departments, forcing these people into moving out. Why they bring this out real quick and see why I'm talking about this right now. And my little slow today, we're doing it happens, right? But I'm going to try to show you some images here of what's going on, right? So are fighting for this for their water rights. What is their water rights? The resource, right? To no corporate country and take a resource that's theirs, especially without having some kind of agreement with the local owners of the land to be able to take this. But as you can see, some of these corporations are going into, and they're taking the natural resources for their own, and their benefit don't benefit. Mexico, we don't benefit from any of these corporations that go in there. I hear a lot of brothers say, well, Mexico, they got their own land, but in reality, our people struggle. Because if you Mexicans have been here since I don't know, the dawn of this continent, correct? And you see Chinese come, and they're already cars, they got their big homes, they got their corporation business. Mexican people along, and we still struggle. And we got our car bill. We still struggle just to make it. Most of us live in one home, big families. Why? Because we're able to support our families like this. Other than that, man, we'd be in a hole, right? Because we can't afford to sustain our families. Entonces, muchos de nosotros los que estamos aquí vivimos como vivimos porque sabemos cómo unirnos a mantener nuestras casas. Pero la verdad es que nosotros tenemos desde el comienzo del tiempo viviendo aquí en México y nosotros no hemos podido salir adelante, ¿verdad? Aquí en Estados Unidos, los mexicanos de todos modos siguen su lucha. So here we go. Let's see what it says here, right? It says police and protests, okay, and protesters. You see this? Police and protesters right here clashed this month at the Mexicali site where international beverage company Constellations Brands is building a $1 billion plant. You see that? They're building a $1 billion plant. And look, that's what the plant is bringing to our communities in Mexico. These back here are the people that live on this land. And these are the police that the Constellation brand has hired to oppress the people. It says, if this brewery was such a good deal, wouldn't it be across the border in Calexico or Las Vegas? Ask farmer Edward Cisneros, 75. Age 75. They just want cheap water and cheap labor. You see that? So our people understand what's going on. Our people understand that, you know what, these brands or these corporations that are going into Mexicali, into Mexico, into these countries, they're not there to benefit us, the Mexican people on that side. They're there to benefit themselves. They're there because their corporation is going to get cheap labor. Who's the cheap labor? Us Mexicans are cheap labor. We're the ones who are out in the fields picking that, right? We're the ones who are out there getting the fruit, getting the vegetables. They're hiring us. Why? Because they want cheap labor. Because these corporations, they want to be able to you know, get the most from their money. They want to pay less and get more. You know, one of the reasons they closed down that Sam's Clubs is because they felt they were losing money. How much money are they losing? Well, of course, the people that are you know, in that group, and they have stocks in there, they're seeing that they're not gaining too much. So what are they going to do? They close it, but they're not gaining millions, not thousands, millions. They want to see their increase in the millions, not in the thousands. And if they don't see that increase, they shut down, man, and they go on to the next one, right? So let's go on to my next image here, right? And as we see here, what does it say here? This is, once again, the Constellation brand that is in Mexico right now, going into the cities like Mexicali and Tijuana, and they're out there privatizing the water, because that's what they're doing. They're privatizing the water. And this ad that they bring out, right? This ad they bring out is boycott Constellation brands. Mexicali resist, it says right here, right? And what does it says? It says, we invite, right, everybody to boycott these brands related to the corporation Constellation brands, which intends to take the water from Baja California without, right? They're not permitting this. It says the water is a universal right. Then say no to the privatization of water. So these are the brands, right, that this corporation owns. This Bud Light, Beck's, Negra Modelo, Corona, Pacifico, you know, Victoria. I used to like Victoria, man. Michelada, Modelo, Budweiser, Stella Artis, right? These are the brands that this corporation owns. And just to let you know, these are the brands that you see in Costco. Why? Because the corporations are all one single unit. They help each other to move their brands around and to be able to market and sell the most of their brands. Who's the ones losing? People from other countries, Mexico, South America, Central America. Who else loses? You know, what are we seeing? The privatization of oil. And in North Dakota, who's losing there? The American Indian is losing there. They're losing their land. They're losing their way of life. Why? Because there's a corporation who's trying to benefit from all this that's being produced, and none of it given to the local people. None of it given to where it can benefit our own people. Let me tell you something. We've been at it for a long time. The Black, the Hispanic, and the Native Indian have been at this game for too long, and it's time that we unite. You know, this is not a Black problem. This is not a Mexican problem. This is not a Native Indian, it's an Israelite problem. For Israel, we are still being pushed where we become the target of what these people do. And what is it? It's just like it's capitalism. That's what it is. They come into our countries, and what do? They capitalize on our natural resources for their own benefits, for their own, you know, for them. Let me tell you. Let me bring out something here, right? And it's very simple. My book, Open Veins of, I was reading there not too long ago, and the book of Latin America. It says that that what happens here is that the Europeans, back when they first got to Puerto Rico, and when they first got to Cuba, is that they bring sugarcane to Cuba, planted the sugarcane. Sugarcane, their main crop. And what do? They capitalize on sugar. They capitalize so heavy that they bring slaves to. That's what they did. As they bring the sugar there, they people to pick the sugar cane. The Native Indian, which is Taino Indian in that area, they made them the slave to pick this sugar cane. And who benefited? The Taino Indian didn't benefit. The Taino Indian, they died on that island. They were mass murdered by the Spaniards, by the Portuguese, by the French, by everybody who stepped a foot on that place. They used them to pick that sugar cane and make sure that that was one of the first corporations. Let me tell you, before cotton, there was a sugar cane. That's what it was. And they forced the Taino Indian and the native Mexican Indian, the Aztec, the Mexica, all of them, to pick this sugar cane for them. And their country became rich. These people became rich off of our labor, off of our land. Just the way today, this group called the Constellation brand is doing to Mexicali. Once again, they're using our territory and our labor to enrich themselves in a capitalist way. Their capitalism is at full force. They're using our labor and our people and our land. So you know what? How is it going to stop? Begin to raise a voice and begin to instruct each other to what they're basically right over the test. We can't times because they are. But what can we do? We can do times of Pinochet. The people there would say it may happen to us. Mira lo que nos está pasando a nosotros, la gente de aquí de Chile, están matando, nos están destruyendo como una gente y necesitamos que la voz se alce. It's voice to be raised and do nowadays. I'm going to read here off of my page, and I'm going to show you how this place, how this became right the point for our people, right? And this is in my book called Open Veins of Latin America, and we're going to go to and this is a great book, and I'm going to read a little bit to all my brothers out there for you can understand what's going on. Herman Overstreet, Shalom Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Thanks for watching right here in Texas, man. And I'm about to bring it out right now. I was talking about and how operating in there and destroying our land and taking the land. And I'm going to show you one before I go and show you right here. So here is Boycott Constellation Brand. Constellation Brands Brewing Company insists on depriving us in order to the United States as beer. Because of this, to help us boycott Constellation Brands water, and we ask you not to consume any Constellation brand products. This company is also owner of the group Modelo in the United States people. And what they're saying, we have a whole different way of help, and how by simply doing what is right, and that is stop giving these corporations our money. That's what we're gonna do. Because who drinks more Corona than Mexicano? Drinks more than us, brother. We out there drinking. Who drinks than us, right? We're the ones out there doing it, right? We're the ones bringing it up. So we gotta understand that how we're gonna help. We're gonna help by, first of all, you know, the ISUPK. We're that school that's gonna be the hand above all hands, man. We're gonna be the ones helping in any way we can. First, in education, we're gonna educate our people and educate all our youngsters on our ancestors and what they went through. Two, we're gonna start getting together with things that are important, staying in touch. Exactly, Herman, that's the way it is. We stay in touch with topics that are important and help each other out. You know what I'm saying? And third, of course, keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You know, all the law, statutes, and commandments. Why? Because when we wake up that we're Israel, the Most High is coming back, and he's going to give us the power to get out of the situation that we're in. So let me go ahead and read a little bit about this, okay? So it says, this is it's called "And Other Agricultural Monarchs." So I'm about to tell you who King Sugar was. It says Columbus, on his second voyage, bought the first sugarcane roots from the Canary, planted them in what is now the Dominican Republic. Now sugarcane came from, right? And what Columbus did, he never made it to America. He actually made it to the island, right? The Caribbean island landing point, not America side. That Columbus discovered America, correct? And then it says, for almost 3 centuries after the discovery, agricultural product had more importance for Europe commerce than American sugar. Now you hear that? Conversations. A company that was bringing this sugar by it to enrich themselves. These families are still around to this day. They benefited from others using our land to this day. They changed the corporation's name and there's all this money. Let's continue. And it says, had more importance than cane fields, right? Cane fields were planted in warm, damp, littoral of northeast Brazil, right? Even up to Brazil. Then in the Caribbean islands, right? Where else did they planted a sugar? Barbados, Jamaica, Haiti, Domingo, Puerto Rico, in Veracruz, and the Peruvian coast. Israelites were. This is where the 12 tribes of Israel landed. What were their hands? We were their feet. It was our labor. It was our land. It was our natural resources that help enrich all these other our territories. Los de Barbera, Guadalupe, Cuba, Rico, ellos mismos. Became the first that was mass a corporation that was Europe. When I talk about this boycott in Baja California, in Mexicali, they're making themselves rich off of land. Just to sit back to white gold. They called white gold because they were making tons of money off this. The white gold, which was no legions of slaves. Legions, man. This is not 1 or 2 or 100. This is the slaves, right? Labor force. He acquired. Our slaves came from. These are the black people, Puerto Rico, the black people from Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica. These are the people that now
Está evidenciado todo. Todo está evidenciado. A la verga. Está evidenciado todo. Todo está evidenciado. A la verga. Está evidenciado todo. está evidenciado todo.
man accused of attacking a San Diego police officer answered to charges in court today.
Prosecutors say Frederick Jefferson punched the officer in the face during a clash between the two groups at Chicano Park this past weekend. CBS News 8's Kelly Hessedal is live downtown with the arraignment. Kelly?
Yeah, Barbara Lee and Carlo, the 39-year-old defendant was arraigned on several felony charges, including battery. He pled not guilty. This as video of his arrest was posted on social media.
Watch your sticks over there, go to the street.
Nosotros en Zaragoza, el agua la tomamos a 30 metros. ¿En qué nos afecta la modelo? Bueno, pues ellos están extrayendo el agua a una superficie de 250 metros. Pues es obvio que nuestros mantos superficiales, que se alimentan de los mantos profundos, pues se nos estén agotando.
Aquí.
Buscamos la coyuntura entre el gobierno del estado de Coahuila, entre el gobierno federal, entre la misma Constellation Brands, de que seamos apoyados, pues por lo menos con una perforación a esa misma superficie, para que el agotamiento de agua que tenemos en este momento no lo suframos más adelante.